Today is the day the Lions don't ask permission to be the Lions. The board is set, the timing is right, and the move I'm about to outline isn't fireworks for clicks. It's a clean football-first tweak that turns a good offense into a weekly mismatch factory. Stick with me and I'll keep it tight where it matters and suspenseful where it should be. First, the why. How one specific skill set unlocks Ben Johnson's best stuff without touching the core. Second, the how. Role clarity next to Sam Laporta in 12 personnel. The motion and disguise that punish linebackers. Third, the market. Why the window is open just enough to test it. Fourth, the price. Draft capital, cap sanity, and protections that respect the long game. And only then the reveal you're waiting for. I start on the grass because that's where Detroit wins. This offense breaks defenses when it forces the second level to be wrong twice on the same snap. We live off play action that freezes landmarks, split-flow looks that tug eyes, and quick hitters that keep Jared Goff on schedule. Our tight end room already has a star in Laporta, hands, balance, and option route feel that turns third and medium into a suggestion. Brock Wright does the dirty work in line, gives you heavy looks, and keeps the run menu honest. But there's a third lane that turns the screw. A true move tight end who can align wing or slot, threaten the seam with real burst, sell run pictures without tipping the call, and punish late safeties after the catch. That's the piece that makes 12 personnel go from tendency breaker to identity. When you add a live seam runner, the geometry of the coverage shifts before the ball is snapped. In condensed 12, motion him across the formation and the box flattens. Now your duo run hits cleaner or your pop pass lives behind a nosy Sam. Walk him off the ball and the defense has to declare nickel on the field or stay heavier and pray the hook defender carries vertical. Either way, Amon-Ra St. Brown's world gets friendlier in his option space because the safety can't sit on crossers if the hash is hot, and Jamison Williams gains the luxury of cornerback hips that are late to flip. This is how you build whistle-proof offense in January. Same picture, different outcomes. Repeated strain on the same defender until the next voice in his headset is his position coach on Monday. The beauty is that Laporta doesn't lose oxygen. He becomes even more of a problem because you're no longer asking him to be two players at once. On one series, he can be the methodical chain mover in reduced splits. Next series, he's the backside bender when the seam takes the post safety out of the frame. And in the red zone, where space shrinks and every false step costs points, the bluff arc that looks like split zone becomes a two-man game. Tight end across, backer steps inside, Goff boots. And you throw to daylight if the corner flies up. If he sits, you hit the glance behind him. These are familiar calls in our playbook. The difference is the speed and angle after the catch when the ball goes to the move TE. It turns a safe 5 into a violent 12. Now the market, because every good idea needs a door to walk through. The Titans are building around a young quarterback and a new identity, and they've been careful not to strip him of weapons. At the same time, teams listen when the fit elsewhere is precise and the price respects both sides. Around the league, the profile I'm describing, affordable cap, scheme portable, alignment versatility, draws real calls near the deadline because it helps playoff teams without creating postseason cap hangovers. You don't buy a headline. You buy a role that multiplies what you already do. And if the door opens even a little, smart teams have frameworks pre-built. Let's keep it grown up on structure. Cap first. You want a number that slides onto the sheet without contortions now and doesn't handcuff you in March. That's the lane. Capital second. This is day 3 plus conditions territory, not a premium pick. Think conditional fourth that escalates to a third on snap share and team advancement, or a late third if you get a day 3 pick back. You protect yourself with thresholds, playoff snaps, active games, maybe a light production kicker, and you avoid the mistake of paying like you're buying a WR1. Because you're not. You're buying leverage against the best defenses on your schedule. All right. Football again, because that's why you're here. Picture 1st and 10 at R38, heavy right. Laporta in line strong, the move TE, the piece we're discussing, wing weak off the ball. Motion across to strong, snap on the move, split flow inside zone picture, backers step downhill, Goff pulls and flips the flat. If the corner sits, it's 2nd and 4. If he drives, the backside wheel is free with space. Now hurry to the line. Same people, condensed splits, 2nd and 4. Call Y seam red. Goff sells run. The move TE stems inside the backer's outside shoulder and breaks to daylight. If the post safety drives hard, Laporta is waiting on the bender at 14. Third play of the series, later in the half. TE screen. Invite the edge upfield, slip under, center, and guard out. It's a 7-yard floor with a 20-plus ceiling because safeties hate tackling this body type in space. That's 3 calls, same personnel, the defense never gets to breathe. And we haven't even touched the keeper throwback that eats cover 3 in the high red. What about the drawbacks? Blocking will never be confused with an extra tackle, and that's fine because you toggle formations. Right handles the people moving. The move TE carries the presentation and becomes your motion engine. Redundancy with Laporta. Not when the rolls are clean. Laporta stays your isolation artist and third down decision maker. The newcomer is the accelerator that forces shell adjustments. Cost? If it spikes into day 2 without kickbacks, I bow out. A roll should be priced like a roll. Health and availability? You can build snap count guardrails and keep the room aligned. Nobody here is buying a savior, we're adding a lever. Let's put a name to it because you've earned the reveal. Chigokonkwo. A true move tight end who has lived on seams, crossers, TE screens, and bluff sift leaks. Alignment flexible, Yacey capable, and experienced enough to read leverage on the fly. In Tennessee, even when the offense stuttered, he kept chiseling the same high-value spaces we love in this system. Here he becomes a problem in 12 without stealing Laporta's food. It's the cleanest version of an in-season addition. You learn the motions and tags, not a new language. Let me paint the Dallas Stars San Francisco picture, because that's the level we're aiming at. Those fronts want to live in man on early downs and squeeze your route stems with length. If you make them walk a nickel onto a tight end to match speed, they lose gap heft, and your run game gets breathing room. If they stay heavier and ask a backer to turn and run, the seam is open until the safety starts cheating, and that's when Amon-Ra eats in the void. Jameson benefits because corners can't squat on sale concepts when the hash is live. It's not magic. It's forcing them out of their favorite clothes. Mechanics matter late in the year, so here's how I'd pilot it without rocking the boat. Install in layers. First week, package plays, flat, seam, screen, 15-20 snaps. Second week, add motion to run looks so the same picture carries both calls. Third week, pair keeper, throwback, and the glance opposite the bluff arc. Red zone, 2 tags you rep until they're muscle memory. Third and medium, choice by Amon-Ra, glance by Jameson, seam by the move TE, pick the leverage you like pre-snap. If you want to measure it in numbers, look at third down success rate against middle closed and how often Goff gets to his first read with his feet set. If those climb, you'll feel it before you chart it. Let me be crystal on the locker room because that's the Lions' edge. This room rewards players who run to the fight, do their job, and speak the same football language. A move tight end who blocks enough to keep you honest, studies enough to master tags and sight adjustments, and finishes enough to turn safe throws into explosive plays fits like a glove. You don't ask him to be the loudest voice. Our leaders are in place. Now the verdict, clean and adult. Football fit. Yes on day 1, yes in January, yes against the defenses that end seasons. Cap fit, comfortable now, flexible later. Price, conditional 4th that can climb to a 3rd is my sweet spot. A straight late 3rd only if you get a small pick back. If the ask jumps, I pivot to internal growth and keep the powder dry. But if Tennessee is willing, this is one of those subtle, serious moves that doesn't make headlines tonight and changes drives in January. That's the business we're in. Before I close, I want your voice because this channel runs on smart fans who see the details. Would you flip a conditional 4th that escalates to a 3rd on snap share and playoff advancement? Or do you push for a late 3rd only with a day 3 pick coming back? Do you prefer doubling down on 12 with Laporta and Okonkwo, or adding another outside receiver and staying in 11 more often? And on the red zone script, what's your first call? TE screen on 1st and goal, duo to set the sticks, or the straight seam to punish a flat-footed safety? Drop your plan below. I'll bring snap splits and situational efficiency to the next video. The move is modest, the impact is major, and the identity stays intact. More stress on linebackers, more honesty from safeties, more clean throws for Goff, and a playoff offense that travels. If you're in, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and share this with the Lions fan who loves trench play and third down geometry as much as touchdowns. I'll keep the updates fast, the tape honest, and the rumors filtered through football.